Welcome to Nerd Sports. Today we're going to talk about cycling.
Yeah.
Well, actually, technically we are talking
yeah,
about
we are.
cycling.
We are.
And we're also actually talking about mental health at the same time.
Yeah.
Which we both go on a lot of our shows because we don't want to hear about our friends or families, kicking the bucket early because they don't feel that no one's listening to them.
Yeah, Olympic cyclist Olivia Podmore, dead at 24, shortly after her Instagram post detailing her mental health struggle. She was from New Zealand, and they're looking at her mental health as being a possible clue into her passing. She represented her country in the 2016 Games in Rio, the 2018 Commonwealth Games, and was reported dead on Monday by multiple outlets. Cycling New Zealand confirmed the news of her death. This is coming from FoxNews.com. So, they confirmed the news of her death the following day on social media. We at Cycling quote: "We at Cycling New Zealand are deeply saddened by the sudden loss of our young cyclist Olivia Podmore. Olivia was a much-loved and respected rider in our Cycling New Zealand squad and the wider cycling community." End quote. The group said in a statement posted on Facebook, quote, "Many people are understandably devastated and trying hard to comprehend what has happened. We have been and will continue to provide support to our staff and riders, the cycling community, and those that were close to Olivia," end quote. The Waikato, that sounds New Zealand, sounds Kiwi. Police
I'm glad you did that one.
Reported a sudden death at a property in Cambridge on Monday evening, but declined to name a cause of death, according to New Zealand news outlets. The New Zealand news outlet's called Stuff, right? So, this is quote: "The police are making inquiries into relation to the death on behalf of the coroner. Law enforcement said the coroner will release their findings in due course." The bottom line, mental health is a big thing. People wanted to give Simone Biles a bunch of crap because she cited mental health as being the reason she withdrew.
And this just goes to show
Yeah,
that you need
this
to
is
take
a real
break.
thing.
Yeah, it is a real thing, and a lot of people don't understand the pressure these people are under, and they're like, "Well, you signed up for it." I hate that fucking excuse.
Yeah, I mean,
They do it for people that were prior military. They do it for law enforcement. They do it for firefighters, EMS, anybody that's in public service and everything. Was like,
public service,
well,
high visibility.
You signed up for this.
Public service, high visibility, high stress, and competitive jobs. These people that just they want to hate, and they want to. They basically just want to spread discontent, and
that's another thing. Is,
the fact that we've got so many trolls out there.
Yeah.
It's disheartening. And
well, I just saw a troll that was like from a long time ago with Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he's a big sponsor of the Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And the troll was saying, it was like, why do we even have these Special Olympics? They're not even smart enough to understand that they're blah, 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 blah. Basically trashing the Special Olympics. Well, Arnold got back up there and it's like, listen, these people have more courage than you. You can either be like these people and show courage, dedication, and discipline,
yeah,
or you can be the shitbag that you shit punk that you are.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a Special Olympics here in town. He coordinates with the Special Olympians and with Special Olympics, themselves. And I've had the opportunity over the last 4, 5, 6 years to meet a few of them. Usually at like our arena football team games that we used to have here. The hockey team, it's in its various iterations.
When we had a Special Olympics, like I want to say when I was in a freshman, It was when I was in junior high,
Right.
and we had it in town. It was up at Shepherd Air Force Base. We went. I went to go volunteer for it and everything, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
And the competitors and everything like that. It was, and
These cats have the greatest personality.
the greatest heart.
Exactly. I mean,
It is-
they're about as close to being innocent as you could possibly get next to being a baby, and they know what the deal is. They know what their challenges are. I don't, just like my son who's on the spectrum. I don't look at people like that with, I don't look at them through the prism of, well, you have a disability. No, you just have a challenge, and
Which you'll overcome it.
yeah, and that's true. It's very accurate. So
Well, it's
bully
like
on you for saying that, but
when my dad came to me one time, I had dyslexia because I have dyslexia, severe dyslexia. When you actually listen to the show, you can actually see it just
you
on a
can see it on your
constant
face, and people listening, I mean, they can hear it.
Yeah,
But, go ahead.
But he's like, don't use it as a crutch. Overcome it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they get sensitive about it when people make comments and they make jokes. But like occasionally we'll be watching some kind of a program or whatever on TV, but they'll make an autism joke. My kid he gets upset. I'm like, that these jokes are going to be out here, bud. The only thing that you can do is choose to ignore it, and do you. And he does. And then these Special Olympians, they overcome what they're dealing with. They overcome the obstacles that are in their way. And these boys and girls, I mean, these men and women are absolute rock stars. They don't care. I mean, they don't care what they look like when they're, they don't care what they look like when they're out there competing. The only thing that's going through their mind is they're out there competing.
Yeah.
And
They get to hang out and have fun and
yeah,
everything
they
like
get to
that.
hang out, they get to have fun, and just the overwhelming look of pure, unadulterated joy on their face when they win.
What's really sad is like one time I was going up to Walmart and there's certain groups you can go out and help out the handicapped. I'll just say handicapped. I don't know if that's a good word or anything like that. But anyways, we were in line. I had to go first to get my stuff. I was like, hey, you want to go first? And I want to go first. Like, no, you go first. I was like, okay, I'll go first. I picked up my stuff and everything. I got it. And I was like, I kept on not being able to use my debit card. I was like, why is this not working? And I flipped around. The magnetic side was on the wrong side. So I kept
Right.
on scraping this thing, hoping that it would work. And I was like, God, today I'm just being a retard. The cashier just looks at me in horror. It's like, sir, there's a special needs person right there. I think you need to change your wording. And bless this guy's heart and the snap that he had. He was like, no, he was being retarded. I can see that now. He was being so retarded.
Yeah.
I have special needs, and he's retarded. And I was like, fuck, that's so good. I can't be angry. I can only applaud, sir. Thank you. Thank you for showing me my humbleness.
Nice, yeah. And
I almost died of laughter right then and there.
yeah, but getting back to our mental health thing, it's. I mean, you and I deal with that on a daily basis. I mean, you and I both being veterans.
Well, it's not even the veteran.
Well, no, right.
The whole military thing didn't mess me up.
Right.
It was my personal life.
Right. No, but and I'm getting to that, right?
Okay.
I'm using that as kind of an in around here.
Well, I just don't want it to be like, hey, we're
Right.
veterans and stuff like
And
that.
I'm going to qualify that. So
Okay.
slow your roll there, ham bone. All right. We deal with it on a day-to-day basis because we get to see that, or we don't get to. It's like it's a privilege or anything, but I mean that's something that we deal with being part of the veteran community. But we know that it's not exclusive to just the military. We know that it's not exclusive to the law enforcement or first responders. People from every walk of life deal with mental issues.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not talking about, you know, like psychotic breaks or anything like that. I'm talking about overwhelming severe depression. I'm talking about anxiety. I'm talking about, you know, the just the crippling fears that people get, and just the lowest of pits that people find themselves in from time to time. And it just kind of seems like, you know, that there's no way out. And you know, you could be tortured by demons, or you could be tortured by, you know, ghosts from the past, you know, whatever. I mean, it could be a myriad of things. But the bottom line is that, you know, suicide, and I'm not saying that this was what that was. We'll find out eventually when they come out, because we're going to follow this story. And, you know, in our upcoming episodes, we're going to, you know, give updates on it, because this is something this is a very serious, or is a real, hits close to home kind of a subject. But you know, whatever the reason is, you know, one of the biggest tools, one of the biggest weapons that you could have to combat your mental health issues, whether it be depression, anxiety, what have you, is communication with a peer network. Even if it's just consisting of one or two people, you have to have that in place, because even the people that help are subject to it. I mean, nobody's impervious to depression. Nobody's impervious to those moments where you think, I can't handle this anymore. The world's better off without me. I mean, nobody's impervious to, or no, rather, nobody's immune from having those types of thoughts. I mean, everybody does. And I mean, it could be from your superstar athlete all the way down to, you know, an everyday Tom, Dick, and Harry, you know, Mary Jane or Sue, who works a 9-to-5 job. You know, I mean, everybody's got their own stuff that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we're not saying that one group of people or one demographic is more susceptible to it than another. I mean, we just happen to hear about more celebrities committing suicide because they're exactly that. They're celebrities. They still put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you and I do. But there's an industry that's around celebrities, and it's in every waking moment is usually documented by a paparazzi somewhere. And if anything happens to this particular individual, regardless of their degree of fame, we're going to hear about it. It's going to get blasted out on the news. And I think that with...
God forbid if we actually have to deal with that.
Right. Well, I mean, if a paparazzi wants to hang around and take pictures of me all day, I'll just show him my nuts. I just really don't care.
Well, not even that. Just anytime we tweet something or post something and everything, it's scrutinized.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, there's nothing...
Like our Angry Me Production Facebook page, where we will meme you every day, all day, hopefully to your benefit. But
see, that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like, just to help out people with like mental disabilities or whatever, the best way to do it sometimes is just say hi, or just wave.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I get some weird stuff like
well,
that.
that's just
One time,
yeah.
I was at McAllister's, and I was just, hey, how's it going, dude? Buddy, you doing all right? Well, my brother just died of cancer. I'm like, oh, so not so well. And stuff like that kind of brings down your day. But I just keep up with the stuff and everything. Anyways, I'm just that type of person to where I just can't just let stuff go.
And I honestly, and I'm not trying to downplay the what happened to this cyclist from New Zealand, but I think the only reason we're hearing about it right now is, one, the Olympics just ended, and B, Simone Biles, the situation with her.
Yeah.
And just the fact that athletic mental health is kind of on the forefront of everybody's mind following the Tokyo Olympics. I think that's probably the biggest reason why we're seeing this article. But I mean, we like to try to laugh, and we like to try to joke around and not take ourselves so seriously on this show, or any of our shows. Well, on our channel, for what, for that matter. But when it comes to mental health, find somebody that will answer that phone at 3 o'clock in the morning for you, and make that phone call. Get some help. I mean, it takes more strength for you to admit that you need help and find it, than it does for you to act stoically and suffer. Suicide doesn't take the pain away. It just simply passes it on to the people that you leave behind. And we know it's cliche, and I know I've said it before on the show, but I'd rather listen to you bitch and moan about your life, for however long it takes you, than to read articles like this, or to have to attend your funeral and hear your eulogy. So, you're not inconveniencing anybody in the world, definitely. And if your friends are who they say they are, they're not gonna look down on you. They're not gonna look at you like you're less of a person if you admit that you need help. So just, I know sometimes it's easier said than done, but find the help that you need and get it. Because this world, it still has a lot to offer. With as messed up as our society seems to be these days, the world still has its bright spots. And, we need to try to do our best to be that bright spot for our part of the world. And we can't do that if, we're silently suffering and dying off because of it. So get the help that you need. And reach out. I mean, hell, reach out to our Facebook page. Reach out to us on Messenger. Nothing that gets discussed on that Messenger is going to be talked about on the show. I mean, you can do that with 100% confidence that we're gonna keep our big mouth shut. So, but moving on to a little bit less somber of a note.
I'm glad we go for the dark stuff first.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's a serious subject, though.
Yeah.
And yeah, we like to try to have fun on the show, like I said, but that stuff takes precedence. At least for me, it does, and I know for you. It's one of those situations where that it has the potential of being a very sensitive subject, for a lot of people. But at the same time, it's something that needs to be talked about. And sometimes the hard truths are the ones that are the hardest to hear, But they need to be said. And they need to be heard, first and foremost. So, I mean, we here at Angry Me Production are more than happy to just sit here and listen. I will be your Fraser fucking Crane and listen to you. And I won't tell you how to fix things, but I will try to help get you pointed in the right direction. And I know that I'm speaking for David as well, and he'd be willing to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Anytime.
So, with that being said,
I've already, there's so many Facebook groups that I actually hang out with on Facebook. That's it. And every once in a while I have to, hey, yeah, I can help you out with this, and we'll see what we can do. And you got anybody to talk to? And it just works out. But on the lighter note, we'll go at the rest of the sports news. Peyton Manning got Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, Drew Pearson, the original number 88 for the Dallas Cowboys. His was a long time coming.
Oh yeah.
Um,
How long is it to where you can actually get in the Hall of Fame?
you have to be retired at least a minimum of 5 years. I think that's
thought
pretty.
that was it. I thought
That's
it was
pretty
actually-
standard across the board for every organized sport.
Well, there was something that's like 15 years.
That I don't know. Maybe curling. I don't know. But
Why do you always bring up curling? I think you have like a dark, sweet desire to
hey,
to do
the
curling.
The Beijing Winter Olympics are going to be next year.
Oh yeah.
We still have an outside shot. I mean, we have to learn how to curl, but I'm pretty sure we could pick it up pretty quick.
That was another thing. We won the Olympics.
Yeah, China was talking all that shit. Talking about the while the Americans may have more medals, they are winning in the medal count that counts, and they're talking about gold medals. But on the last day, we passed their Chi-Com ass. Yeah, take that. And I say Chi-Com because, well, I mean, let's face it, China is a communist nation. But whatever, I digress. We passed China. Oh yeah. And I think the final gold count was like 39 U.S., China 38, something like that. But yeah, I mean, you can win by one, you can win by 1,000. Well, not 1,000 because I think there's only like 538 Olympic events. But that being said, China talked a lot of shit, and as the kids these days will say, that tweet didn't age well. I kind of think that's funny. I think I maybe watched all of a total above maybe a combined 15 minutes of the Olympics this year.
I can't even say that.
And most of that was swimming.
I would. Male or female?
Female. And not for the reasons you think.
That's what I was gonna go with.
Good God.
Yeah, I'm sick.
I'm spoken for. I mean, besides that, most of the swimmers for the U.S. Olympic swim team, well, most of the Olympic swimmers, period, regardless as to what country they hail from, are underage, and that's just not how this dude rolls. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, that's like that would be like sitting there watching the the female gymnastics and getting turned on by it. How about no? It's like, oh gee, she's 14 and she could kick my ass. Somehow that turns me on? No, those words will never earnestly come out of my mouth ever. I mean, I may say that about somebody else because I'm giving them a hard time, but in all actuality, in all reality, in the natural, that's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, you have to be. It's 5 years for the NFL. Something was 15. I don't know which one was. I think it was.
Yeah, it's 5 for the NFL, 5 for Major League Baseball, 5 for NASCAR. I don't think it's that long for hockey. I think it's 5 years for hockey as well. I know it's 5 years.
It's just both players and coaches.
I think it's 5 years for the NFL or for the NBA as well. I think 5 years is just that prerequisite. I think 15 is what you're thinking about, like 15. Because I know in baseball they've only got so many times that they can be on the Hall of Fame ballot before they get before their ballot gets moved to like their peers. Because up until that time, everybody, regardless of what sport you play, your Hall of Fame induction is dependent upon what the sports writers think of you.
Oh, that's so crap.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why people like Kurt Schilling more than likely will not get into the Hall of Fame, which is kind of a crime. Yeah, he's a conservative. He's very outspoken about it, and he's not afraid to call people out on their shit, and he does it all the time on Twitter. I mean, I think it's funny, just because obviously I'm conservative, and that's got nothing to do with it, or the fact that he played for the Red Sox and won 2 World Series championships with them. He won a World Series championship with the Arizona Diamondbacks. But the guy, his performance on the field spoke for itself. I mean, the guy belongs in the Hall of Fame. But sports writers just they look at who he is off the field and they don't like it because he's a conservative as opposed to their left-leaning, tendencies and the liberal trash rags that they write for. So I would say that Hall of Fame voting is flawed, but it's the system that we've got in place, and until somebody smarter than me comes up with something better, we're stuck with what we've got. And I mean, I think, and for the life of me, never ever ever understood what what it was or why it took Drew Pearson so long to get in. I don't understand that at all. And it's I mean, I'm glad that it happened. And maybe it's kind of fortuitous that it happened when it did, because it really kind of brings the attention back to the golden era of when players were, players. Because when Drew Pearson was playing, they didn't have these like multi-million-dollar contracts where you're a football player and that's all that you did. I mean, Drew Pearson was playing when players had to get a part-time job during the off season to make ends meet, because they were getting paid by the game. They weren't getting paid a year, So, and yeah, I mean, yeah, the sport was a lot more, smash mouth back then, and hard nosed. I mean, the athletes today that play the game, they're bigger, they're faster, and they hit harder. But they've also got the pads to kind of equal that out. Plus, the rules are written today for player longevity. I mean, Drew Pearson he goes back to the old school NFL players. The guys that walked around half concussed out of their minds, and went out and played the game anyway. When concussion technology or concussion awareness wasn't really a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
that just happened like probably around
concussion awareness and the concussion protocols that the NFL put into place. I think that's only been around. Yeah, 2008. It hadn't been around. Well, I mean, we can say it hadn't been that long, but it's been a while. But it's a relatively new thing. We can definitively say that it's a 21st century deal. But let me look at here.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. No, that's not what I want. Swear.
Oh, that's another thing in 2011.
Okay.
That was another thing that we need to be more mindful. I'm going to probably end up having to do listen to this one podcast off of this one chick. Draft. NFL draft.
Yeah.
Or not, the fantasy football. Get the certain things freaking mixed up in my head. Go for no known sports stuff. Now, if you're actually gambling, which a lot of places, depending on the state that you have, you can't gamble on, like doing fantasy football, even though DraftKings, you can basically bet on everything.
Yeah, and doesn't that kind of go along with the whole, like you get the office pools?
Dude, yeah.
Good luck cracking down on that.
They do that all the time. When I was working at ABV, they did squares every week for, and you could put $5 and put it in and make the pot big. And But surprise, surprise, if you look up Lisa Ann.
Mm-hmm. Are we talking about the porn star?
Yes, we are actually
Okay.
talking about the porn star.
Wow. All right.
Lisa Ann, if you start listening to her for NFL fantasy football stuff, she has a lot of good vibes on her.
So she's kind of like a fantasy football geek.
Oh, dude, she loves sports.
Wow.
I that's her podcast is sports.
Nice. Okay.
When she
That's
actually
unexpected, but yeah, all right.
when she was actually doing like
That would be like hearing
porn radio.
Mia Khalifa do political commentary. It's just one of these things doesn't look like the other.
Well, not to get too much off of the subject, but her husband, damn it, what's his name?
Lisa Ann's husband,
No.
Mia Khalifa.
Yeah.
I didn't think she was married.
Yeah.
What?
Fucking the guy that she was dating on that 70s show.
No. Oh my God. Okay, this is so rich. This is so rich. You're thinking of Mila Kunis, not Mia Khalifa, the porn star.
Oh, that chick's a cunt. I mean, down about it.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
That
I have to recenter my chi because if not, I'm gonna get completely and totally brutal with you, and I'm not gonna do that.
what she is.
No, the fact that oh my God, dude, you were like, dude, she's married, like, to the guy that she was. Mia Khalifa. I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, he is stepping in the biggest pile of dog shit, and he doesn't even realize it's on his shoe yet, and he's about to track that shit in the house.
Oh, dude, I tracked the shit, and I'm wondering why.
Okay,
the dog
I'm not going
has
to credit you with a fail here. Just simply do no. Hear me out.
Okay.
I'm not going to credit you with a fail because you rode this thing into the ground like Slim Pickens, dude. Wow. I'm going to talk about this at work tomorrow. I'm letting you know.
It's gonna happen. I don't care.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to be like this
You
dude over
actually
here.
think I have morals?
No, morals has got nothing to do with morals. Is the difference between right and wrong. You're talking about pride.
Oh yeah, I don't have that either.
Okay, so I mean, whoo. Okay, I'm just gonna chalk that up to your dyslexia.
Okay, yeah.
How about
we can
that?
do that.
We'll go with that because I mean I'm gonna have to hang that on something. I just can't let it sit there and just float in space. Mia Khalifa, Mila Kunis. I mean,
It's a MK thing.
and the guy that Mila Kunis is married to is Ashton Kutcher.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
But he actually.
But hey,
does a-
kudos to you for knowing that they starred together on that '70s show.
But he actually has like a charity group that he tries to protect sex.
Yeah,
workers.
he combats sex trafficking, and he spends a lot of his money to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as a person, I like Ashton Kutcher. As a personality, if I ever get to meet the guy in person and shake his hand, I'll judge him then.
Yeah. But,
But-
anyways,
God, that was just okay. All right, now I need to lean forward and get back in the shot here.
there we go.
Oh
But Lisa Ann, the porn star,
Okay.
she started out doing like kind of like, I guess you would call it like penthouse radio or something like that. Where
She
they're-
would read like penthouse letters on the air.
No, it's one of those things. It was called stripper nights. That's what it was called.
Okay.
And people would call in and ask how their stripper weekend was.
Okay.
Well, she got bored, and a lot of the people ended up knowing that actually like know her as a fan, know she likes sports and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and kept on calling in saying, "Hey, who do you like on this team? Blah 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 blah." Well, she got written up like twice. All she was supposed to do is talk to like stripper stuff,
Yeah.
And then it just ended up to where she found a new home in New York to talk, not new home, but
Yeah, yeah.
new home to talk about sports. And that escalated.
Yeah, she found a new microphone to speak into.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, she still does a little bit of porn stuff. What she says, it's all the old stuff. She just puts it on her OnlyFans because she owns all the stuff. But that gets her day to day. But she's doing all of her, basically she's doing what we're doing right now. She does all of her stuff, and the only reason why she's like super popular about
I
it.
guarantee you she's pulling down 6 figures on that OnlyFans page.
Probably.
Yeah, easy. Easy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
But if you go out, and if you're actually doing like fantasy football and stuff like that, look her up. Not on our point site or anything like that, but on our podcast. And she has a lot of good information, and she knows a lot of the NFL players and everything. Not like that, just she talks to a lot of the players and everything. And she's usually spot on a lot of the stuff.
yeah. All right, so circling back to the Hall of Fame, guys, for the NFL. I love how that was a beautiful journey. Thank you, Mr. Toad, and that wild ride. I sincerely enjoyed it.
Glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Hey, I learned something about sports this week, and my other passion, porn.
Share with the rest of the class, please.
No, we just did it.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Yeah,
so
the Lisa
that's what
Ann
you learned.
thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So,
It just goes out on the whole thing about reason why you keep. You know, you can delete all the suggestions on the Twitter account, right?
I have been blocking the fuck out of some accounts on our Angry Me production Twitter account.
Well, no, you can go in the settings and everything, and clear out the suggestions. So you
Yeah,
can
oh,
start-
yeah,
I have to do. I have to do
that-
it on the Facebook page.
That's going to get done too, but oh my God. This morning, when we got to work, when we got to the job site, I went into Twitter for just a minute because I wanted to see, what was going on in the Twitterverse as far as like the Red Sox were concerned, because they've been stinking out the joint. We'll get to that another day. I get recommended for you, so I just tap on it, right? The next thing I know, I've got Miley Cyrus's tits staring me in the face, and I'm like, what the fuck? One, those are not attractive tits. They do not count as tits. They don't,
Yeah, I
right?
bet they weren't there too.
They were, because the whole tattoo all work, and anyway, it was her. So I went ahead, just backed out of it, and then just went up to that
I
little
like
thing.
it.
Went up to the very top and just said, block this Twitter account. I'm just like, no. Because I'm trying to bring an air of professionalism to our Twitter account. I really am. And do you realize how hard of a job that is?
Especially whenever.
Yeah, when you started it, honestly, I think you started that Twitter account so that way you could you could browse porn incognito. I honestly believe that's what, dude. It's like my phone blows up, and I'm just like, what is this? Just like,
You act like most of my friends don't know.
dude, I'm aware. The day that I get what was it on TED 2 is like
Oh, we're gonna have to dump the laptop into the ocean.
yeah, right there in Boston Harbor. We got to go back every 30 days or so just to check on it, kind of thing. But it's chicks with dicks. Like, no, dude, that's dudes with tits. It's like, it's almost like you wanted to get caught because you needed help. And the fact that you're saying nothing and just glaring at me through those really great sunglasses confirms it. Anyways, getting back to the Hall of Fame. So we said Drew Pearson. I like some of the excerpts from his speech. He said, "I had the biggest afro in NFL history. That's probably the biggest one that'll be on a bust at the Hall of Fame." I mean, the dude, he was a personality then, and still a personality then.
Peyton Manning's little thing. I don't know if it was.
Yeah, it was
has
just
like
a Photoshop meme. We were talking about the tall forehead.
God, it was huge.
Yeah, no, somebody doctored that photo.
Oh, okay.
But let me see. Tom Flores. He was a head coach for the Oakland/Los Angeles Raiders, also the Seahawks, 79, 87, 92 through 94. So he finally got in. Peyton Manning. This was part of his speech. He says, "My good friend Tom Brady is here tonight. By the time Tom Brady is inducted in his first year of eligibility in the year 2035, he'll only have time to post his acceptance speech on his Instagram account." So I mean, those two. I mean, they are actually best friends, but they just keep going back and forth. I mean, I think Tom, Peyton Manning, he's got the better sense of humor. But Tom Brady, dude, I mean, this guy's gonna play till the wheels fall off. I mean, they're gonna have to cart him off
I think.
of the field.
Well, is this his last year? So he's got
No.
2 more years.
He's got at least 2 more years, and if he keeps winning, don't expect him to retire anytime soon.
Yeah.
But let me see here. John Lynch. This guy. He was a safety for not only the Tampa Bay Buccaneers but the Denver Broncos. He's the GM. He's the general manager for the 49ers. So, I mean, he was responsible for getting the 49ers the personnel that they needed to get to the Super Bowl the last time when they got their ass absolutely handed to them. But John Lynch, I mean, he was one of those like throwback kind of players that played in the modern era. If I'm not mistaken, he played for the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won their first World Series, their first Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I was happy to see him get in. Calvin Johnson, he was a wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. He played for 8 years. Tall. His nickname was Megatron because the dude was just massive.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And
because the Megatron thing came up one day, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
And then you click on it, and you're like, "That's not Megatron." But he was one of those like. When his name was included with the new inductees, I was like, really? Calvin Johnson? Really? Because he played for the Lions. I mean, yeah, he racked up a bunch of receiving yards, and and not to discredit him at all. I mean, I'm happy he got in. Great. I mean, he was a good player. I mean, when he decided to retire, I think there was actually a few teams that were trying to sign him to a free agency deal to come play for them, but he just decided to hang it up. So Alan Fancha, I know I'm butchering that. He was a guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played for the Jets, played for the Cardinals. He played for 12 years in the league. So he gets in. Let's see here. Charles Woodson. This dude. Heisman Trophy winner, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion. Now he's a Hall of Famer. He won his Super Bowl with the Green Bay Packers when they played down in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but, yeah, good. I mean, good for this guy. Absolutely good for this guy. Because he's one of those legacy players. He set a standard for his position at defensive back. And there's a lot of people that try to emulate his style of play. I mean, You watch some of these NFL films, and some of these wide receivers that get covered by him, they're just like, yeah, no, I gotta catch him making a mistake, which doesn't happen very often. I mean, the dude he soaked up interceptions like crazy. He was fun to watch. Trying to see.
No, what was actually the emotional was Charles Woodson. He was I'm gonna get it up.
Yeah,
here.
the guy that I just talked about.
God, really?
Yeah.
Fuck. I was looking up at the stuff and everything. I was like, is he talking about Charles Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was looking at the stuff for him and everything. Where
Hey,
you're doing
but
that.
you know what? Thank you for actively participating in
I
our
know, right?
conversation today.
God, I am out of, because I was like reading the
See,
article.
this is the
and
sole reason
everything.
why you need to get one of those soundboards, so that way I could reach over and hit that thunderbolt, that thunder sound effect, because I'm dropping knowledge on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just, I was caught reading the article of
Caught you
him.
with your pants down because you were talking about Lisa Ann, and then you confused Mila Kunis with Mia Khalifa. And then I caught you standing around, not paying attention while you're looking stuff
I
up
was
while
like,
I'm
look-
talking.
I was, it's kind of like.
I don't talk to these people that listen to our show. I'm talking to you, ass.
No, it was. God damn it. This is really horrible on my part because I'm like looking at. I was half listening because I was listening to who you're talking about, and, I don't know. I was like reading it and everything like that. I was, man. Okay, I'll read the art stuff.
You know what? I'm going to sit back for a minute. I'm going to let you take lead on this so that way you can try to save some face here. Because believe it or not, what little ego you've got, and for those of you who are strictly listening and not watching on YouTube, I'm holding my pinky up. What little ego you've got, you need to salvage. So you go right on ahead. You do you, boo-boo.
God.
The floor is yours.
What he said was, throughout my career, I can remember getting calls from my sister, particularly whenever I'm running down the 880th freeway in Oakland or Liberty Avenue in Green Bay. Woodson said she would just hit me with these three words, "Hey, little brother, I love you." It was always seemed to hit me at the right time to get me through the day or get me through the week. Sister, I just want you to know we're thinking about you. Wish you were here. Love you. And the reason why he said this is because his sister right now is battling COVID.
Yeah. And the only reason why I want to bring this up, so thank you for that segue, is, there's those blurbs going around, the little rumors and the conspiracy theories that the president and all of his, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes for you, audio only people, president with his infinite wisdom, is, planning on announcing a national lockdown to help flatten the curve. I hate that term. I hate social distancing. That was a 2020. That was a 2020 thing, or 2019, 2020. I mean, when they said that the Roaring 20s were coming, I'm thinking, yeah, great, we're gonna have flappers and all this other good shit, right? No, God, no. Like, this is the 20s. We need the 30s back. And I mean, whatever. Anyways, moving on. If they announce a national lockdown and they tell everybody to go home and quarantine, it is going to absolutely devastate sports, our economy, our country as a whole. It just... I truly, honestly believe that people will not stand for another quarantine. They just won't do it.
No.
And I know I won't. And Because the people that are trying to fearmonger this whole thing, they're talking out of both sides of their mouths, and the only thing that they're absolutely, with the beyond the shadow of any kind of definitive doubt, doing is demonstrating to the country and to the rest of the world that they're flaming idiots.
Yeah. And even right now, they're calling Fauci's having what do you call it? Congress is talking with him. Cause all the
you know, at the end of the day, it's going to take somebody. It's going to take it's going the district attorney for the United States is going to have to grow a set of balls. Or let's be fair, if it's a female, she's going to have to grow a backbone, and she's going to have to start prosecuting some of these people.
Yeah.
Because you're inciting fear, you're disturbing the peace, you're creating dissent on a national level. I don't want to hear these bullshit, fake, bogus-ass numbers that are coming out of these other countries like, oh, well, we've been quarantining the whole time and our COVID numbers are down. Look, your COVID numbers may be down, but it's not because you've been locking everybody up. It's because you don't have institutions like the CDC inflating numbers. And I say that with every bit of sincerity because we've caught them doing it the last time. When they went back in and they audited the numbers and they're like, oh, well, these are the actual COVID deaths versus this. I'm not going to sit there and hide in my house and go absolutely batshit stir crazy over something with a 99% survivability rate. Wash your fucking hands after you get done taking a shit or a piss. Don't cough on me. And if you're sick, stay the fuck home. If you're scared, stay home. As for the rest of us normal human beings that want to carry on with our lives, let us do it. Because we're going to be the ones that are going to be responsible for keeping our country going. While the whole time you're sitting at home putting on 30, 40, 50 pounds because you're ordering in because you don't know how to cook yet. And it's just... Let us do what we do best. We go out, we innovate, we work hard, we play harder. We want to drink beer on the fucking weekends. We want to sit there and watch sports, both on TV and in person. I mean, for Christ's sake. Dude, I'm taking my girlfriend and her sister and a friend of mine to the Dallas Cowboys Jacksonville Jaguars preseason game at the end of the month. I mean, it'll be the first time that I've seen anything at AT&T Stadium. I don't like the Cowboys. I don't. The only reason...
It's a real nice stadium, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, I know that you've been there. I know. You were there for the Spartan race, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm going because I want to take my girlfriend there. She's a Cowboys fan, so is her sister. They both have never been to AT&T Stadium, so hey, this is an opportunity I'm going to take, and we're going to go.
You don't actually have to even go to the stadium. They got this big freaking Megatron thing out there.
It's not the same. It's not the same. It would be like watching a ball game from the parking lot. Why? Go in and experience it, right?
So you can have your grill and tailgate.
You can do that before and after the game anyway. I mean, hello. But, I mean, for me, the chance to see Trevor Lawrence, the #1 overall draft pick, play, and Tim Tebow. I want to see Tim Tebow play. I don't care what you say about Tim Tebow. I like the guy.
I like him too.
I mean, he's earnest, he's sincere, and he's genuine. I mean, he stands up for his convictions. He stands up for his beliefs. And I can say, yeah, the guy's laid back now because he finally got laid, and that's only because he got married. But all that aside, yeah, you can plug the whole Jesus and cleats things in, and fine, whatever. Good things happen when this guy is praying on the side of the field. You know? But to that point, it's like... I mean, I'm traveling to Houston this weekend. So if if the conspiracy theorists are right, they're supposed to announce some kind of lockdown tomorrow on August 11th. So, I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot out about it out there right now, but it's well, let me see here. Now, I mean, Reuters, is it pronounced Reuters? Whitehouse.gov, CNN. I mean, there's a lot of places saying, "Oh, there will be no lockdown despite surge driven by Delta variant." Look, I don't believe Uncle Joe any further than I can pick his dumb dementia ass up and throw him. I don't. We've caught him lying before. He said he wasn't going to make the military vaccinate. Look what they did yesterday. They announced that all military members must get the vaccine. They took the choice away from him.
Well, they also took the choice away from us when we were getting the flu shot. Every year I had to take the flu shot when I was in the military.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But
so.
I also was working the kitchen, so.
Oh, well, you had to then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just a matter of cleanliness. But all that aside, don't do to sports again what 2020 did. Except this time, if you do it and you shut the economy down, you shut the country down, and you shut all of the major sports down, we're done. We won't be able to come back from. To quote the Tiger King, we may not be able to recover from this financially. It's just, and that's my political rant for the sports episode. But
we're going into political stuff on what the hell. So just stay tuned for Sunday. But that's pretty much it for Nerd Sports. Give us a like, subscribe.
Hit the bell notification. Give us a upvote. Or upvote like it's Reddit. We should probably start a subreddit.
I'm not ready for that.
Oh, God.
I'm not ready for that kind of darkness.
Right? Well, it's not like it's 4chan or anything.
Or Xbox Live.
What was that TikTok video? It's like the mom comes in, the kid's playing Xbox or whatever, right? And he's like, his mom goes, "Hey, honey, I want you to meet somebody." And he goes, "No, I don't want to meet anybody right now." And the dude walks in, and he goes, "Hey, bud. How's it going? You know me? Do you remember me?" He's like, "No, why?" He goes, so he gives him his gamer tag, and he goes, "I told you. You keep talking. I was going to fuck your mom." Right? And then the next thing you see is that kid going, He drops his controller, the jaw hits the floor, and the dude standing in the doorway of the bedroom, and he's like, "Oh, yeah."
But like us on Facebook, check us out, follow us.
Instagram, Twitter.
Instagram. Yeah, if people are on Facebook, the Instagram's linked to the same thing, so I give the meme. I've been getting the memes. I would actually put them on Instagram, and it populates on Facebook, so it's less work for me. So
we ought to start an OnlyFans page. I mean, if it works for Lisa Ann, I mean,
it's not gonna fucking work for us.
You don't know, man. I mean, there are chicks out there that are into dad bods and.
I'm not saying that.
Balding men.
I'm that kind of hurt. That kind of stung a little bit.
Oh, but it was okay for me to bag on my own dad bod. All right, I got you.
Yeah, because you got a girlfriend.
True.
I'm the only one here that's balding. And that's the show for you. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton, and I plead the fifth.
And this is Nerd Sports.